Good morning/afternoon/evening, everyone. Toxic people, those who drain your energy, disrespect your boundaries, or consistently spread negativity are, unfortunately, a part of life. Whether they show up in your workplace, friendships, or even family, their presence can be challenging to navigate. But here's the good news. Smart people have learned to deal with them in ways that protect their peace and maintain their dignity. Smart people understand the importance of setting clear boundaries when dealing with toxic individuals. Boundaries are not about building walls to shut others out. They are about creating guidelines to protect one's mental and emotional well-being. These guidelines help establish what is acceptable and what isn't in interactions with others. Toxic people often test these boundaries, either knowingly or unknowingly, as they tend to disregard the needs and feelings of others. However, smart people recognize the value of maintaining their sense of self by being firm and consistent with the limits they set. Establishing boundaries begins with self-awareness. Smart individuals take the time to reflect on their values, priorities, and emotional triggers. This self-reflection helps them understand where their limits lie and what they are willing to tolerate. When they encounter toxic behavior, they are quick to recognize it and identify how it affects their emotional state. This clarity allows them to take proactive steps in defining their boundaries. For example, if someone consistently interrupts or criticizes them in conversations, they may decide to address the issue directly or limit their interactions with that person. One of the key aspects of setting boundaries is communication. Smart people are not afraid to assertively express their needs and expectations. They approach conversations about boundaries calmly and respectfully, making it clear that their intention is to foster healthier interactions rather than create conflict. For instance, they might say, "I feel disrespected when you speak to me in that tone. I'd appreciate it if we could have a more constructive dialogue." By framing their boundaries in a way that focuses on mutual respect, they minimize the likelihood of escalation. While communication is important, smart individuals also understand that actions often speak louder than words. They don't just set their boundaries, they enforce them. If a toxic person continues to overstep after being warned, they follow through with consequences. This might involve limiting the time they spend with that person, avoiding certain topics of conversation, or even cutting ties if the behavior becomes too harmful. Enforcing boundaries consistently sends a clear message that they value their well-being and won't compromise it to accommodate toxic behavior. Importantly, smart people set boundaries without guilt. They understand that prioritizing their mental health is not selfish, but necessary. Toxic individuals may attempt to manipulate them by playing the victim or accusing them of being unreasonable. But smart individuals don't fall into this trap. They remind themselves that boundaries are a form of self-respect and a way to preserve their peace. They also know that by maintaining healthy boundaries, they set an example for others, encouraging healthier interactions in all areas of their life. Ultimately, setting clear boundaries with toxic people empowers smart individuals to take control of their lives. It allows them to protect their energy, maintain their emotional stability, and focus on the relationships and activities that bring them joy and fulfillment. By standing firm in their limits, they demonstrate strength, self-respect, and an unwavering commitment to their own well-being. Smart people don't take toxic behavior personally because they understand that the actions of others often say more about them than the people they target. Toxic individuals tend to project their own insecurities, fears, and frustrations onto others. They may act out of jealousy, unresolved trauma, or desire to control situations, none of which are reflections of the person they are targeting. By recognizing this dynamic, smart people can separate themselves emotionally from the behavior of toxic individuals and avoid internalizing negativity. One of the most important realizations smart people have is that they cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but they can control their reactions. When confronted with toxic behavior, they pause to reflect rather than react impulsively. For instance, if someone criticizes or insults them, they analyze the situation objectively. Is this a pattern of behavior from the toxic individual? Is there a deeper issue driving the negativity? By shifting the focus away from themselves, they are less likely to feel hurt or offended. Smart people also understand the importance of maintaining their self-esteem and not allowing toxic behavior to define their sense of self-worth. They don't let the criticisms, manipulations, or passive-aggressive comments of toxic individuals affect how they see themselves. Instead, they rely on their inner confidence and self-awareness to remain grounded. For example, if a toxic coworker undermines their efforts or spreads rumors, they remind themselves of their skills, accomplishments, and the value they bring to the table. This internal validation protects them from the emotional damage toxic behavior can cause. Another strategy smart people use is empathy without engagement. They might acknowledge that the toxic person's behavior stems from their struggles or unresolved issues, but they don't allow this understanding to excuse the behavior or draw them into unnecessary conflict. For instance, if a toxic friend frequently makes sarcastic remarks or seeks attention through drama, a smart person may choose to empathize with the root cause, such as insecurity or loneliness, while still maintaining healthy boundaries. They don't feel responsible for fixing the toxic person, but instead focus on protecting their own mental and emotional well-being. Smart individuals also know how to create emotional distance in situations where they cannot avoid toxic people entirely, such as at work or family gatherings. They consciously decide not to absorb the negativity, viewing the toxic behavior as noise rather than a personal attack. They might use techniques such as deep breathing or visualization to remain calm and unbothered, ensuring that they don't carry the toxic energy with them after the interaction is over. Ultimately, not taking toxic behavior personally is a skill that allows smart people to maintain control over their emotions and responses. They refuse to give toxic individuals the power to dictate their mood, self-esteem, or peace of mind. Instead, they focus on what they can control, protecting their energy, nurturing their self-worth, and staying true to themselves. By doing so, they rise above negativity and maintain their emotional resilience, no matter what challenges come their way. Smart people understand the importance of maintaining composure when dealing with toxic individuals. Toxic people often thrive on drama, conflict, and emotional reactions. They may provoke others intentionally or unintentionally to create tension and feed their need for control or attention. However, smart people know that reacting emotionally or impulsively only gives the toxic individual more power. Instead, they remain calm, composed, and collected, ensuring they don't get pulled into unnecessary conflict or chaos. One of the primary ways smart people maintain composure is by practicing emotional detachment. They recognize that not every comment, criticism, or behavior requires a response. When faced with toxic behavior, they pause to assess the situation rather than reacting immediately. This pause allows them to choose their response thoughtfully, ensuring they don't escalate the situation or say something they might regret later. For example, if someone makes a rude or condescending remark, they might choose to ignore it, respond with a neutral statement, or address it calmly without anger. Another important strategy is focusing on facts and logic instead of emotions. Toxic individuals often use manipulation, guilt, or emotional appeals to provoke reactions. Smart people counter this by sticking to objective truths and not letting their emotions cloud their judgment. In a workplace setting, for instance, if a toxic colleague tries to undermine them by spreading false information, a smart person will calmly present the facts to clarify the situation without engaging in personal attacks or emotional outbursts. This approach not only resolves the issue more effectively, but also demonstrates professionalism and maturity. Smart individuals also recognize the value of controlling their body language and tone of voice during interactions with toxic people. Even if they feel frustrated or angry, they make an effort to appear composed externally. Toxic individuals are often looking for signs of weakness or vulnerability to exploit, and by maintaining a calm demeanor, smart people deny them that satisfaction. Whether it's keeping their voice steady, maintaining neutral facial expressions, or using open and confident posture, they project an air of self-assurance that can diffuse tension and discourage further toxic behavior. In addition to controlling their external reactions, smart people actively manage their internal emotional state. They understand that interactions with toxic people can be draining, so they use techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or visualization to stay grounded and centered. For example, they might take a few deep breaths before responding to a difficult conversation, or mentally visualize a protective barrier around themselves to shield against negative energy. These techniques help them remain calm and in control, even in challenging situations. Finally, smart people maintain composure by remembering their long-term goals and priorities. They don't let the behavior of a toxic individual derail their focus or take them off course. They remind themselves that engaging in unnecessary conflict or drama is a waste of time and energy that could be better spent on more meaningful pursuits. By staying focused on their own path and refusing to get entangled in toxicity, they preserve their peace and protect their emotional well-being. In summary, maintaining composure is a powerful way to deal with toxic people. By staying calm, emotionally detached, and focused on their goals, smart people not only protect themselves from negativity, but also model the kind of behavior that inspires respect and admiration. They demonstrate that true strength lies in self-control and the ability to rise above the chaos created by others. Smart people understand the futility of trying to change toxic individuals, which is why they prioritize their own growth instead of focusing on fixing others. They recognize that toxic behavior is often deeply rooted in patterns, insecurities, and unresolved issues that only the individual can address if they choose to. Rather than wasting time and energy on efforts that are unlikely to succeed, smart people shift their focus inward, investing in their personal development, happiness, and goals. One of the first steps smart people take is accepting that they cannot control how others behave. Toxic people are often resistant to change because they don't see their actions as problematic or because they lack the self-awareness to recognize the impact of their behavior. Trying to change them can lead to frustration and emotional exhaustion. Smart individuals avoid falling into this trap by acknowledging that the only person they can truly change is themselves. This perspective frees them from the burden of trying to fix others and allows them to channel their energy into areas where they have control. By focusing on their own growth, smart people create a sense of purpose and fulfillment that toxic individuals cannot disrupt. They set meaningful goals for themselves, whether it's advancing their careers, improving their health, building stronger relationships, or pursuing hobbies that bring them joy. These goals provide a sense of direction and keep them grounded even when they encounter toxic behavior. For example, instead of dwelling on the negativity of a toxic coworker, they might use that energy to enhance their skills or seek new opportunities that align with their aspirations. Smart people also use interactions with toxic individuals as learning experiences. They reflect on how these encounters affect them emotionally and consider how they can respond more effectively in the future. This process of self-reflection helps them build emotional resilience and develop stronger communication skills. For instance, if a toxic family member constantly criticizes them, they might learn to remain calm, assert their boundaries, and refuse to engage in unproductive arguments. Over time, these experiences make them more confident and capable of handling difficult people in any context. Additionally, smart individuals surround themselves with positivity and support to counteract the effects of toxicity. They nurture relationships with people who uplift and inspire them, creating an environment that fosters their growth and well-being. These positive connections act as a buffer, reminding them of their worth and reinforcing their commitment to living a fulfilling life. They understand that the best way to diminish the influence of toxic people is to fill their lives with meaningful and supportive interactions. Ultimately, by prioritizing their own growth, smart people shift the power dynamic away from toxic individuals. They refuse to let negativity define their experiences or hold them back from achieving their potential. Instead, they focus on becoming the best version of themselves, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. This mindset not only protects them from the harm of toxic behavior, but also serves as a powerful example to others of how to rise above negativity and thrive despite it. Smart people understand that at times, the best way to deal with toxic individuals is to limit or even avoid interaction altogether. While it may not always be possible to completely eliminate toxic people from one's life, smart individuals know when it's necessary to distance themselves to preserve their mental and emotional health. Limiting exposure to toxic people is an effective strategy for maintaining peace and ensuring that their well-being isn't compromised by negativity or manipulation. The first step in limiting or avoiding toxic individuals is recognizing when an interaction is detrimental. Smart people are attuned to their emotional responses and can quickly identify when a relationship is draining or causing more harm than good. For instance, they might notice that certain people consistently leave them feeling anxious, upset, or frustrated. They acknowledge that these feelings are signals to reassess the relationship and make adjustments accordingly. By being mindful of their emotions, smart individuals are able to gauge the impact toxic people have on them and make informed decisions about how much time or energy they should invest in those relationships. Once they've identified toxic behavior, smart people take action to reduce their exposure. This can take many forms, depending on the nature of the relationship. In a work environment, it may involve setting strict boundaries regarding how much time they spend with a toxic colleague, or limiting conversations to work topics only. In personal relationships, it might mean taking a break from contact, stepping back from social gatherings where the toxic person is present, or being more selective about when and how they engage with them. These actions are not done out of malice, but out of self-care and the understanding that their peace and happiness are paramount. For example, if a toxic family member frequently undermines their efforts or causes unnecessary drama during family gatherings, a smart person might choose to attend fewer events or limit their interactions to smaller, more manageable moments. They might also decide to confront the individual with their concerns in a calm, assertive manner, explaining how their behavior is affecting them and setting clear boundaries for future interactions. Subs. If the toxic individual is unwilling to change or respect those boundaries, the smart person may choose to limit their involvement even further. This helps protect their emotional space while still maintaining some level of civility. Smart individuals also recognize that limiting exposure to toxic people doesn't mean abandoning empathy or compassion. They may still care about the toxic individual and may even wish for their well-being, but they understand that they cannot fix or change someone who is unwilling to do the work themselves. In these situations, the smart approach is to show empathy from a distance. Rather than continually sacrificing their own peace for the sake of a relationship, they take a step back and focus on their own personal growth and well-being. They know that their emotional and mental energy is valuable and that they must reserve it for relationships that nurture and support them. Furthermore, distancing themselves from toxic people gives smart individuals the opportunity to recharge and reflect. When they are no longer constantly exposed to negativity or manipulation, they can restore their sense of inner peace and clarity. This space allows them to focus on their own needs, goals, and priorities, without the emotional drain that toxic relationships often bring. It also provides them with the opportunity to strengthen healthier relationships with people who bring positivity and support into their lives. In conclusion, limiting exposure to toxic individuals is an essential strategy for maintaining emotional balance and safeguarding one's mental health. Smart people recognize when interactions are harmful and take deliberate steps to create distance without guilt. By setting boundaries, reducing time spent with toxic people, and focusing on healthier relationships, they protect their peace and create a more positive and fulfilling environment for themselves. This approach allows them to thrive and continue pursuing their goals without being hindered by the negativity of others. Smart people know that limiting exposure to toxic individuals is not enough to fully protect themselves from negativity. To truly thrive, they must also surround themselves with positive, supportive people who uplift and inspire them. Cultivating healthy, nurturing relationships is a powerful antidote to the draining effects of toxic people. By surrounding themselves with positivity, they reinforce their sense of worth, strengthen their resilience, and create an environment where they can flourish. This proactive approach is essential for maintaining emotional balance, fostering personal growth, and building a fulfilling life. The importance of surrounding oneself with positive people cannot be overstated. Research has shown that the relationships we have directly impact our mental health, happiness, and overall well-being. Positive, supportive people help us feel valued, understood, and motivated. They listen without judgment, offer encouragement, and share in our successes and challenges. In contrast, toxic people sap our energy, fuel our insecurities, and drain our emotional reserves. By choosing to prioritize positive relationships, smart people actively create a buffer against negativity and invite a supportive atmosphere into their lives. One of the key factors in cultivating positive relationships is choosing people who share similar values, interests, and goals. Smart people know that they need to be surrounded by individuals who align with their principles and vision for life. These shared values form the foundation of strong, healthy relationships that are built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. For example, if a person values honesty and transparency, they are more likely to form strong connections with others who also prioritize these traits. By surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals, they create a support network that encourages personal growth, accountability, and a sense of belonging. In addition to shared values, smart people seek out relationships with individuals who are emotionally mature, emotionally available, and willing to invest in their growth. They understand that relationships are not one-sided. They are a mutual exchange of support, care, and respect. Toxic individuals, on the other hand, are often emotionally unavailable, self-centered, or manipulative. Smart people avoid these types of relationships and instead focus on cultivating connections with those who genuinely care about their well-being and want to see them succeed. These emotionally mature individuals offer a safe space where smart people can express themselves openly without fear of judgment or exploitation. The positive people in a smart person's life also serve as mirrors, reflecting back the qualities and strengths that they may not always recognize in themselves. When surrounded by individuals who genuinely care and support them, smart people are able to see their own value more clearly. Positive relationships act as a source of affirmation, reminding them of their worth and capability. For instance, a close friend who consistently encourages them to pursue their dreams and acknowledges their achievements provides an external validation that bolsters their self-confidence. This affirmation is crucial in helping smart people maintain a strong sense of self-worth, especially in the face of challenges or when dealing with toxic individuals who may try to diminish their value. Smart people also recognize the importance of creating a balanced support system. While it's essential to surround themselves with positive, uplifting individuals, they also understand the value of diversity in their social circle. A well-rounded support system includes friends, family, mentors, and colleagues who each bring unique perspectives and strengths. For example, a close friend might offer emotional support and a listening ear, while a mentor provides guidance and career advice. By fostering a diverse network of relationships, smart people ensure that they have access to different sources of support and wisdom, which helps them navigate life's challenges more effectively.